So right, UFC 298 Volkanovski versus Topuria just wrapped up, and I'm going to be going through the entire main card, starting with the opener, ending with the main event, going through each and every single fight on the main card, giving you guys my full breakdown and recap, starting with the main card opener of Anthony Fluffy Hernandez versus Roman Kopylov. In my prediction video, I was going to pick Roman Kopylov to get it done via second round TKO over Anthony Hernandez, but I was wrong because Anthony Hernandez got the win and secured a second round rear naked choke submission on Roman Kopylov, getting him the W. I was completely shocked. I remember in my video I did say this was a 50-50 fight, and that's what was going on before that submission happened. In the first round, it was a pretty frantic start from both guys. They were trying to implement their game plans. Kopylov finding success on the feet, and Hernandez trying to take the fight down to the ground, and he was. This fight, the first round was a very grueling first round for Kopylov. It was him outstriking. It was pretty even on the feet. Hernandez was landing some decent shots of his own, but as soon as it got down to the ground, it was Hernandez's world all day. Kopylov looked lost. He looked unsure of himself. It seems that Kopylov has really good takedown defense, but as soon as he gets taken down to the ground, he's kind of, I don't even know, he seems like a deer in the headlights, and Hernandez kind of took that opportunity and sunk in that rear naked choke. He sunk it in multiple times. He found multiple submission attempts, and as soon as it was pretty scary because he was smiling before he submitted Kopylov, and it was kind of insane to watch. Hernandez gets it done, gets himself a fifth straight win in a row. He's been clamoring for a ranked guy, and I think the next fight to make, if you were to ask me, would be to rebook that fight he had with Chris Curtis. Anthony Hernandez versus Chris Curtis. Rebook that fight. I think Chris Curtis is ranked number 14 or 15th. He's somewhere in the rankings. Hernandez isn't ranked. He's been clamoring recently that he wants a shot in the rankings. Rebook that fight. Chris Curtis versus Anthony Hernandez is the fight to make next. Moving on to the next fight of the main card, Merab Dvalishvili versus Henry Cejudo. In my prediction video, I went with Merab to get it done via dominant decision, and that's what happened. I called it. You're going to be hearing that for the rest of the video because besides that Roman Kopylov pick, I got every single fight in this main card correct. But yes, I picked Merab to get it done via dominant decision, and that's what happened. Pretty shaky stuff in the first round after Merab and Cejudo were trading on the feet. Merab, I'd say, was trying to land a lot of goofy stuff on the feet. He was trying to land a lot of spinning wheel kicks, and in the result of, Merab throwing a lot of goofy stuff, Cejudo actually caught him and wobbled him and kind of made Cejudo coast, or no, not Cejudo. Cejudo catching Merab and wobbling him kind of made Merab coast to the second round after the first round was done. But as soon as that first round was done and we got to the second and third, Merab really started to shine. He started landing multiple takedowns. In my video, I said he was going to land 2 to 3 takedowns. He landed 5. Two out of the 5 being very demoralizing. I remember one of them, I forgot which round it was. It could be round 2 or 3, but one of the takedowns, he picked up Cejudo. Mark Zuckerberg was in attendance and picked him up, slam him in front of Mark Zuckerberg, and just was absolutely demoralizing. I'm gutted for Cejudo, but I'm absolutely happy for Merab. It just kind of puts things into perspective, or just into question of why would Cejudo even come back after retiring. It's just a really weird situation because he retired way back when he fought Dominic Cruz back in 2020. He retired at the absolute peak of his prime, and he's coming back now after his prime. Again, the mental, the decision making, it's just all questionable, and it just leaves you thinking, why? Like, why would you even leave if you wanted to come back in the first place? It's just not a good look. He has 2 L's in a row now, and this really does put a damper in his bantamweight legacy and his UFC legacy as a whole. But that makes that 10 straight wins for Merab, riding a 10-fight unbeaten win streak, and per Dana, Dana already said it himself. The next fight to make for Merab is the winner of 299's pay-per-view, O'Malley versus Chito Vera. All I got to say is good luck to both, because this is an RNC prediction. Merab is going to be champ by the end of 2024. You heard it here first. Mark my words. 2024, Merab champ. Moving on to the feature fight of the main card. Ian Machado Garry versus Geoff Neal. In my prediction video, I went with Ian Garry to get it done via decision after giving an underwhelming performance, and that's really what happened in this fight. Both guys kind of delivered an underwhelming fight. Not a lot of activity on the side of Geoff Neal. Ian Garry was throwing a lot of shots, a lot of activity, and in my opinion, that's really what won him this fight. It was a split decision. Ian Garry got it done, and in my opinion, it was activity which really kind of paid dividends for Ian Garry to get the win. He was landing a lot of body kicks, a lot of leg kicks, a lot of combos to the head, and was just kind of finding his space. He was kind of delivering an Izzy performance, like I was saying, finding his shots, keeping his distance, not really getting into the line of fire, because Geoff Neal is a very dangerous striker up close, and kind of not much to say. Got the prediction right. 14-0 for Ian Garry, 7-0 in the UFC, and in his post-fight interview, he called out Colby Covington, and I like the fight. Both guys are going to be ranked next to each other. Garry was ranked number 11. Neal was number 8, I think. He beat him. Colby Covington is ranked number 5 or 6, so that should be the fight to make. I like that fight a lot, and yeah, got the pick right. On to the next one. Moving on to the co-main event. Robert the Weeper Whittaker versus Bonyachinia Paulo Costa. In my video, I chose Whittaker to get it done via late rounds TKO or decision. He got it by decision. The fight was an entertaining and fun scrap, but it kind of left me disappointed and overall unimpressed with Whittaker's performance. Whittaker should be honestly schooling Costa. This fight should have just been a full-on dominated performance from Whittaker, but we got a fun and entertaining scrap. I'm not complaining. It's just the context behind this, man. It's just the context behind this. Costa hadn't fought in over a year and a couple of months. His last fight was against Luke Rockhold, and that was in August of 2022. Comes back a full year and a half, almost a year and a couple months later to take on Whittaker, and has a close and competitive fight with him. Whittaker should be schooling these type of guys. He should be beating the guys who have been inactive, but has a close and competitive fight with Paulo Costa? It just, again, unimpressed. Question if Whittaker can even fight for a title. I know he keeps clamoring for a title shot, but after what I just saw, you don't deserve a title shot. And the next fight to make for Whittaker is to rebook, or not even to rebook, to do the Jared Cannonier rematch. A competitive, I'm just going to say it again, a competitive fight with an inactive Costa doesn't earn you a title shot nor top contender. Whittaker versus Cannonier 2, that's the fight that needs to happen. He doesn't deserve it. Moving on to the main event, Alexander Volkanovski versus Ilia Topuria. In my prediction video, I chose Ilia Topuria to get it done via late rounds TKO, and he gets it done via early rounds TKO. Ilia Topuria KOs Alexander Volkanovski in the second round, beginning of the second round, after a pretty interesting first round, I'd say. I remember watching this live. I had it scored for Ilia Topuria, but a lot of people, including the judges, all scored it for Volkanovski. I may have to rewatch that one again, but I don't really understand nor agree Volkanovski winning that first round. I thought Ilia was outstriking, found his better strikes, and was putting the pressure on Volkanovski, and that's really the story of this fight. Ilia Topuria was putting his pressure, his striking pressure, and was overall just bullying Volkanovski against the fence until he found his KO shot. And he was catching him multiple times in that first round. And, it's something that I've always catched on with each and every other Volk fight. If you put Volk against the fence and you try to kind of exchange in the pocket, he always has his right arm down and his chin wide open, and not a lot of opponents get that on Volkanovski, because most of his fighters and past opponents have all been, tall. But against someone as the same stature with Volkanovski, it'll take someone like Ilia Topuria to find that shot relatively quickly. And Ilia Topuria being a very deadly boxer, a very skilled boxer, it won't take much. It won't take much of time for Ilia Topuria to read that and find his shot. And that's what happened. He kept on bullying Volkanovski against the fence, found his shot, and just waited till he found the KO shot and delivered it early in the second round. Main reason why, and I've said this in the video and a lot of people just did not want to believe me, the main reason why I was so confident in Ilia Topuria to get it done was not just because of his confidence and the way he is as a fighter. It was mainly timing. Volkanovski coming back 4 months after getting brutally KO'd by Islam in the rematch at age 35. That happened in October. Coming back in February against a KO artist in Ilia Topuria. I'm not gonna say it again. Yeah, coming back 4 months, not a good sign, and Volkanovski just got paid for it. So where does this leave Volkanovski? Because this is a very, very, very tough thing if you're a Volkanovski fan. He is currently 1-3 his last 4, and it's just on 2 back-to-back KO losses. For me, I would have Volkanovski wait it out, heal 7 months. He'll get the immediate rematch because he is the greatest featherweight, one of the best featherweights. I wouldn't say the greatest now, but he is one of the best featherweights. Give him time off to let his brain heal, and I'd say the next fight to make right now for Ilia Topuria would just be the Evelev fight. Both undefeated guys putting in their undefeated records on the line, and I like that fight for Ilia. I like that fight for Evelev. It's a great fight to make. Those two were supposed to fight. So yeah, that would be the next fight to make. I believe in Ilia Topuria as a champion, and we are now in the Ilia Topuria era. I've called it. I've been calling it. And we are just now entering this era. All in all, did very well on the card. Won a total of 10-2, 3-0 on the early prelims, 2-1 in the regular prelims, and 4-1 in the main card. Thank you guys for watching today's video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on my socials, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.